Hey, good morning. Um, hi. Good morning. My name is Laura Bender, and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to have another kind of practice. We're just going to practice some patience for ourselves, and what that means, it just might mean just giving ourselves a little bit of a break if we don't quite get something, or we can't quite nail a pose. I mean, it's totally fine. You have to sometimes just provide yourself with that little bit of self-compassion and patience, and know that, you know what, you'll get there eventually. And maybe it kind of, that patience might be something that you utilize in that way, or maybe you kind of see it as another way. So whatever it is, that's what we're focusing on today. So today's props, if you have a yoga strap, perfect, go ahead and grab that. If not, like a belt will do, or a like maybe even a towel, or even something like that's gonna be used for like a robes belt kind of thing like that. I have a couple blocks and a blanket that I might utilize, but again, they're not necessary. And we're going to start today on our back. So coming to our back, and we're going to have our knees bent today. I'm sorry, there's like a weird glare. The room I practice in is in, so it looks like my legs are glowing. The room I practice in is actually in the front of my home, which is where the sun is shining in. So this may move at some point. Anyway, so go ahead and just, again, come to your back and maybe rolling the shoulders underneath the upper back a little bit, bending the knees. And we're going to bring the feet all the way to the edges of your mat, or kind of close to the edge. And just allow the knees just to fall into the body. We'll place a hand like maybe around your heart space and over on your belly. And we're just going to focus on breath awareness right now, just for a few minutes. And so what that means is I want you to maybe start with just kind of focusing on the breath in as you inhale and exhale, coming in and out of your nose. When you feel the sensation of it, maybe there's a little sound it makes. And then maybe you can move on to, since you have your hands maybe on your chest, or you have a hand on your chest, you can kind of move this and that awareness to that area. So each time you're breathing and exhaling out, you feel the chest just rising ever so slightly. And then last but not least, maybe kind of move that awareness now down to your belly. And move your hand there. And then you realize you're taking a deep enough breath where it's filling up the body, and you can feel it in the belly even. And you think about it, like, your lungs might take up only a portion of your chest, but you're feeling that breath all the way down into the body. All right, just taking a few more moments. Maybe just kind of returning to whatever of those points that maybe you connected with the most. All right, and then go ahead and grab onto your yoga strap. And you can, if you want to unravel it completely, or if you prefer just to use maybe half of it, that's okay too. I'll actually kind of double it up so it's not quite as long. I have a longer strap. Okay, and I'm going to extend my right leg out long, keeping the foot active so my toes are pointing up and my left knee is bent. And I'm going to bring the strap to the ball of my left foot and just kind of holding the strap in both. And actually, maybe I will unravel it just so I can actually rest my triceps on the mat versus reaching all the way up and having to lift the body. Now here, I have my left leg in the air. It's not necessarily straightened out. It doesn't have to be. And this could be, for a number of reasons. My hamstrings, this is the first real movement I've done this morning. So, maybe I'm a little tight. So you can kind of always work on trying to just listen here and see what feels good. If you need to bend the knee a little bit, you can. If you feel like you can straighten it out, maybe pressing that heel up towards the ceiling, go for it. Now let's take a couple more breaths. All right, now switching the hands of the strap, or switching the strap to the left hand, we're going to slowly take the leg out to the left side. Now, again, another way to kind of look at this, so placing your right hand on your right hip, when you feel you start to roll too much over, like your hip and your sits bones kind of move off the ground, you're too far over. We want to be able to just keep the leg opened up, so opening up the leg just a little bit and just taking it again as far as you can without lifting up just keeping the sits bones and the hip down on the ground. And maybe it's not very far. Maybe you're just at maybe like an 11 o'clock or a 10 o'clock. If that's the case, maybe you're bringing the foot closer to the face. Again, just kind of be patient, listen to your body, see where it goes. Now, okay, let's go ahead and bring it back to center. And then we can switch that strap into the right hand this time. And so we'll take a little bit of a twist, but we're not going to take a huge twist. Just like, again, we're going to do some twisting in a moment. So just kind of a little bit. And just kind of see where you feel this in your body. So not all the way over. The idea is just a little bit over to the right side. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back to center. And then we're going to kind of grab the strap. We're going to come into this almost like pigeon pose. Just for maybe a moment. And then we're going to take the right leg and actually walk it up. So we will actually come into like a figure four. And you can take the strap off your foot at this moment. Just place it to the side for a sec. Now you can stay here if you wish to, which I'm just going to do. Or if you want to take it a little further, you can always kind of bring the fingers interlaced behind the leg. Or you could always use that strap, bring it behind that thigh. But the idea is here, again, keeping the foot active. And I'm gently pushing it away, opening up the hip. All right, so from here, this is where I was saying we're going to do a twist. We're actually going to take now our body and start to drop that left foot all the way to the ground. Now, if it doesn't make it all the way to the ground, that's okay. This is maybe where you, instead of keeping it here, maybe you're kind of doing more of a supine or eagle leg twist. But if you can, try to keep the foot actually on the ground and a little bit extra stretch in the hips. You can grab onto the ankle and then gently press away at the knee and the thigh, and your left arm can come into any position it wants to, just keeping that left shoulder down on the ground on your mat. Okay, let's go ahead and come back to center. Take a moment, uncross the leg, maybe stretch it up nice and tall, and we'll send it nice and long, kind of coming back into that position that we did before. This time, the left leg is extended and the foot is active. Okay. And then we're going to take now the strap once again, that laying on it, and wrap it around the ball of the foot. Extending that right leg up again, keeping the heel pointing up towards the ceiling the best you can. Again, if there's knees bent, that's okay. So just keeping the arms, the triceps down on the ground. Okay, let's go ahead and switch the strap into the right hand. Again, now putting the left hand on the left hip, we're going to take the leg out to the right side. And you might find differences here in your body. Like I could definitely notice that something is this side of my body is much more open. And I can take the leg a little further out to this right side. And again, it might differ on everyone. So just kind of listen in, see what feels okay on the body. Nice. Go ahead and bring it back to center. We'll switch the strap into the left hand. And again, we don't have to take it over really far, but again, keeping it active. Maybe this right arm's going to come out to the side like we're doing a little bit of a twist. Excellent. Come back to center. All right. And then we're going to start to, again, bring that leg in to that body, almost like that, like we're trying to do that, like pigeon type posture. And then we're going to walk the knee up, the left knee to meet that ankle, taking the strap off, or again, if you need to use it for underneath the thigh, you can do that too. Keeping that right foot active. And again, just kind of finding that figure four, either here on the mat or lifting the thigh into the chest. Okay, so you ready for that twist? Let's go ahead and drop the Right foot all the way over to the left on the ground. Maybe again grabbing that ankle. This is a great hip stretch. And again, this isn't for you. Maybe just stacking the legs or finding any variation of a supine twist. You can always take this knee and just cross it over the body if you feel more comfortable just doing a one-legged twist. Again, just listen in. All right, go ahead and roll it back to center. And we're going to squeeze both those knees into the chest. Let's go. One last kind of little pose here before we move on. Let's go ahead and open both of those legs up. Come into a happy baby. Yeah, just kind of rock side to side a little bit. Massaging the low back. Now another option here, if you have that strap again handy, I can show you. A lot of the times when we're doing happy baby, many people are, their whole body's coming off the ground, and this isn't really, this isn't kind of like suiting much of a purpose. The idea is to have everything down on the mat, your back. So to kind of offer a little assistance, you can always take the strap here and kind of control how close your knees are coming into the side of the body, and it's much better with keeping the low back down on the mat. You can still get the same amount of stretch, and you can even take the legs wider. This might feel good on the body too. Again, this is one of those poses that could be difficult for some people. And, you just have to have that patience with your body to finally get to that point maybe where you can open up a little bit deeper, have more space, whatever it is. All right, and then I'm going to remove the strap if you were using that. All right, so one last thing on our back, I thought we would add a little bit of core. So kind of keeping the legs here, you can move back just a teeny bit. Let's start by just keeping them so the hips are stacked above the knees. All right, I'm going to go ahead by starting to release that right leg, and I'm just going to hover it over the mat. So keeping it here, inhaling the arms above the head and interlacing the fingers behind my head, just kind of supporting here. All right, so at a nice exhale, I'm actually going to bring my right elbow up to my left knee. We're doing some yogic bicycles. All right, so taking a breath in, and then exhale. Inhale back to center, reset. Switch legs. We'll do like one more on each side. Good. Let's bring both knees into the chest. Offer yourself a little hug in. Good. Maybe this is where you round in a little bit, bringing the forehead or nose in toward the knees. Let's go ahead and roll up to a seated position. So you can take as much momentum as you like there, or if you just prefer to maybe just do what I did, is roll off to the side, just kind of finding a seated position. And here you can find a seat on a block, find a seat on a blanket, totally up to you. All right. Okay, so again, let's go ahead and find that nice tall spine. Taking a breath in. Good. Inhale, arms come up. And then we're just going to start with a twist over to the right side. So your hand might fall on the knee, or maybe it's just in front of the body. Either one's fine. Left, right arm comes behind you. Gaze can be off to the right or maybe over the shoulder. Good. Come and inhale back to center. I'm going to drop my right hand down to the mat, lift up with that left arm, and slowly bend over. So I might even have my fingertips here, and as I bend, my palm touches the ground. I can bring my gaze up towards my inner elbow, maybe beyond that, or if it's not good on the neck, just kind of find a neutral position with the head. All right, let's go ahead and bring both hands down. We're gonna just kind of switch the crossing of the legs. So however you had your legs, let's go ahead and do that. So unravel them, then reposition them. Inhale, arms up. And then we'll take the twist to the left side. Good. Inhale back to center. Taking the left hand down, maybe the fingertips. Again, just reach as my right arm is lifted. I'll start to bend over to the right side, finding that side body stretch. Again, depending on how your head and neck feels, just gonna take your time, either listening in and seeing what the best posture is for your head. Good. Go ahead and come back to center. Now I'm going to turn a little bit here. And I'm going to extend my legs out straight along my mat. And again, depending if your hamstrings are still a little tight, that definitely helped open mine up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of add a soft bend into my leg, but still keeping my toes nice and active. Okay, and then whenever you're ready, we'll inhale and we'll just bring the fingertips up. So creating a nice long line, that L shape with the body, and then we're gonna, with our heart, lead forward. Now, again, this might be something that we're gonna use the strap for, so I will demonstrate as well with the strap. We just have both of the feet intertwined, strap in both hands, again, sitting up nice and tall, and then just allowing the heart to begin to bring yourself forward. So it might not be a very deep forward fold. That's totally fine. I mean, again, this is your practice. I want you to feel good during doing it. And yeah, this actually feels really good to me. So maybe it'll feel good for you as well. All right, go ahead and slowly come on up. And hold our position while we're here kind of in this, I guess, seated with the legs extended. We're actually going to bend the knees. Place the hands just kind of behind you, but the fingertips pointing to the heels. Let's look up to reverse tabletop. Now, keeping the head, I don't want you to necessarily drop this back here. Just actually keep the chin tucked. So we're actually making a nice table posture. Good. Let's go ahead and drop it down. We're going to sling the legs around behind us and find your first downward facing dog. And when you get there, let's go ahead and paddle the feet a little bit. Push away with the fingers. Okay. All right. It's coming to stillness. Let's go ahead and inhale up on the right leg. And as we exhale, step the foot forward. And I'm going to find myself in a runner's lunge just for a moment. Then dropping down the knee. And you can keep the back toe tucked if you prefer. Or if you rather keep it untucked, that's fine as well. Just taking a moment here. And we'll inhale. Take your time. Again, be patient with yourself. If you need to, maybe stopping at the hips and just placing your hands on your hips or maybe on your thigh as we sink into our low lunge. Maybe this is where we stay today. If you want to, you can bring the arms up. Excellent. Go ahead and release. And you can come to blocks if you have them, or you can come down to the mat. So from here, I'm actually going to go ahead and start to walk these blocks that I have back and start to peel the toes up. So keeping my right leg straight here. And if you need to, you can always walk the foot a little further forward so you can actually get into this position. Staying here in a nice lifted body. And then exhale, maybe kind of just, again, bring that heart forward so you're feeling a nice hamstring stretch. Excellent. Go ahead and bring the foot back forward. And let's walk the toes all the way over to the right side. I'm going to bring the blocks over to the left. And we're just going to do a little bit of a lizard pose here, just for a few breaths. So just you can stay on blocks. If you want to come to forearms for a few moments, you can do that as well. I'm just going to stay here. If you want to come to the mat, that's fine too. All right, one more breath in. Let's go ahead and slowly walk that foot back in towards the center. I'm going to place these blocks to the top. I'm going to go ahead and tuck that left toe under and lift up that knee, stepping my foot back to a plank. And I'm going to take my first vinyasa. So this could be, again, maybe you're working on the chaturanga, or maybe you're just feel more comfortable lowering to your knees. Whatever it is, go ahead and take it, either knees, chest in, or chaturanga. And once we get down to the belly, go ahead and untuck the toes. I want to have your toes nice and flat on the ground. And we're really going to use them for a lot of leverage right now. So doing a cobra variation, walking your hands outside of your mat, tenting the fingers. So your fingers are actually doing more support here. And bending those elbows, kind of like cactus arms right now. The forehead comes to center. Let's inhale, press up. It might hasn't have to be really high. But again, remember those feet. Push those feet, tops of the feet into the ground. Good. Good. Let's exhale, release. Walk the hands back in towards the upper ribs. Tuck the toes. Lift on up. Coming to downward facing dog. And again, any variation in between that. If you need to do tabletop or child's pose to transition. Go ahead and take that as well. Excellent. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Inhaling up the left leg. Exhale and step it up to the top. Wonderful. I'm going to lower that right knee down. And again, untuck my toe. Again, up to you. Have these blocks handy. And again, I'm finding my way up, taking my time. Maybe I start here. Maybe this is where I stop. Or taking the arms up. Good, excellent. Drop the hands down to the mat. Taking blocks or just walking your hands back, we're going to lift up those left toes, finding the lift here. And then maybe exhale, the heart leading us forward, folding in. Good. Go ahead and walk it forward. And take the left foot over to the left side. Again, finding that lizard posture for a few breaths. Excellent. Walking the foot back in towards the center. I'm going to move my blocks just kind of towards the top of my mat so they're out of my way. Good. We're going to tuck the right toe, lift up the knee, step back to plank, and again, vinyasa here. So your choice. And again, once we make it to the belly, let's go ahead and walk those fingertips off of the mat, tenting the fingers, lifting those elbows. Inhale, press in. Exhale, release. Walk the hands back in. Tuck the toes under. Lift up, downward facing dog. Good. Let's go ahead and inhale up both of those heels. Bring your gaze up towards the fingertips and bend the knees and maybe just take a walk. We don't need to necessarily hop at this point. Just gonna taking the legs kind of wide, maybe as wide as the mat. Let's inhale, halfway lift. So finding length in the spine, finding length so the crown of the head's reaching forward. And then exhale, fold. So start to really bend the knees here. We're going to place the palms of the hands underneath the soles of the feet. Let the head hang. Elbows are nice and loose and bent. Knees are bent. Relaxing and creating space in the back of the neck. Excellent. Let's go ahead and release. Slowly, just kind of heel toe the feet in as you kind of sway a little bit side to side. We're going to slowly roll it all the way up. Awesome. Taking the arms above the head and then bringing the hands down to the heart. Okay, let's go ahead and just kind of move along here. Continue the movement with our breath. We'll inhale, bring those arms up, and you can't quite see, I might be a little off camera, but take your left wrist. We're going to grab it on with our right hand. So take that little side bend over to the right side. Good. Inhale back to center. And then taking the left hand over to that right wrist and then bending over to the left. Good. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bend the knees, fold, and half diving on down. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold. Let's go ahead and plant the hands down here. So you might have to bend your knees a lot. Step back to plank, and we'll take again of another vinyasa, lowering down to the mat. This time doing your choice of cobra or up dog. And then exhale, lifting up the hips, tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Taking a few rounds of breath. Again, filling up that entire compartment, all three of them. All right, lifting up the heels, bending the knees, bringing the gaze forward again, hopping now or walking up to the top of your space. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise. Bring yourself all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart. Okay, let's go ahead and we're just going to lift up the right heel a little bit. So starting here, taking a few moments of breath. And then lifting up the knee towards the chest so you can flex the foot, keeping the hands at your heart. Excellent. And then we're going to slowly start to shift this right leg back as we come into a warrior three. And maybe that standing leg is bent for a moment, and then you kind of work yourself out. You can keep the hands at the heart here, or if you need to, you can always bring them to another position that's better for your balance. All right, coming into standing splits. Just reaching down for blocks or hands to the mat or even into any kind of binding. All right, drop that right toe back, runner's lunge. Plant the right hand, lift the left arm up to twist. Excellent. Let's go ahead and bring the hands back down, finding some space between the toes and coming up to crescent lunge. Wonderful. Now, as we start to, what I want to start to do with our breath, we'll create some movement here. As we straighten out the front leg, I want you to sweep the arms back. So we're kind of lifting the chest a little bit and kind of add a little tilt to your hips too. Good, and then bend in, reaching the arms up, coming to crescent lunge. Good, straighten out the leg. Again, as arms sweep back, you kind of slightly hinge. Good, inhale, bend in. And then exhale, let the breath out. Inhale, come on up. Crescent lunge for a moment, and then we're going to reach down either for blocks or the mat. Then again, straighten out that front leg. We're going to do a little pyramid stretch. That heel doesn't have to come to the ground. If it can, awesome. If not, that's okay. Inhale, lifting up halfway. And then exhale, maybe you're folding in towards that knee, finding a little more depth. Good, let's go ahead and add a bend to the front leg. We're going to step all the way up to the top and coming right into chair pose. So you might already kind of be in that pose when you're in a runner's lunge. So stepping the feet together, lifting the arms up. Good, let's go ahead, straighten those front legs. Sweep those arms up high, open the chest, coming to an extended mountain pose. Take a few breaths. And at the same time, walking those feet towards the edges of your mat, a little wider than your hips maybe. We're going to exhale, bring the hands behind the low back, interlacing the fingers. Inhale again, lifting the chest, opening up the heart. Exhale, bend in the knees, fold it forward, coming into a yoga mudra. Good, releasing the hands to the ground, walking the toes back together. Let's slowly rise all the way up to stand. Bring those hands above the head and connect the palms of the heart with your exhale. Excellent. Now time to do the other side. So finding again, now that lift of the left heel. Then lifting up the left knee in towards the chest. Again, trying to keep your balance without having to hold on to the leg. If you can, keep your hands at your heart. And then slowly sending that leg back as we come into our warrior three. Again, maybe there's a little bend here in this knee. And then coming in to standing splits. Awesome. Dropping the toe back. Again, planting the hands, runner's lunge. Planting that left hand, keeping it down in the mat or a block. Lift up the right arm to twist. Awesome. Coming on back down, finding some space. Again, crescent lunge. So finding some lift here. Take your time. Sometimes if we don't have our feet too far apart, it ends up being a little wobbly. So kind of find that balance. Maybe again, finding that pelvic bowl by bending into the back leg and then work on straightening it out. All right, so as we start to straighten that front leg, again, we're gonna shift the arms back as well as the hips and then bend in with the inhale. Exhale again, straighten the legs. And then come back with the inhale. All right, again, one more time, exhale. And then inhale. Bringing the hands down to the blocks or the mat. Straightening out that front leg. Lengthening through the spine. And then exhale, maybe folding in a little bit, heart leads. All right, go ahead and bend into the knee again, front leg. And we're gonna come to that chair pose. Take a couple breaths and inhale. Sit in your seat. Let's go ahead and root to rise again. Bring those arms up again. Walk the feet out about hips distance apart. Extended mountain. Reach up nice and tall. Maybe a little back bend here. And as you exhale, hands will meet at the back again. One finger over this time. So the grip always feels a little weird. Again, inhale and lift up the heart, pulling those shoulder blades back. Again, generous bend in the knee as you fold in, Yoga Mudra. All right, releasing the hands down. Let's just kind of take a ragdoll for a moment before we move on. So if you want to grab elbow to elbow, if not, maybe your hands or your fingers, they might be touching blocks. Just kind of sway a little side to side, again, creating that space in the back of the neck. All right, walking the feet back in. Let's slowly root down and then rise up. Bringing the body upright. Rolling those shoulder blades back. Coming to our mountain pose. Excellent, guys. All right, so you're hanging on. This is one of those poses coming up that maybe requires the most amount of peace with me. So let's just start actually, again, we'll start with the right leg. We're gonna start by just taking our ankle and bringing the heel in towards the bum and just kind of doing this quad stretch. So you could have your left hand on your left hip for a moment. So body is nice and straight as we stretch. Excellent. All right, so lifting up if you feel comfortable enough. Maybe you're taking the left arm now and lifting it up towards the ceiling. All right, and then we're slowly going to move into dancer here. So again, listening to your body, just going to take it as far as you can. So maybe there's a soft bend into that left leg as you kick your foot back into your right hand. Good. Let's go ahead and release the foot back. We're going to come in to a crescent lunge. Take a moment. And then open to warrior two. So kind of starting to shift open. Let's go ahead and flip the front palm and reverse. And as we cartwheel down, we're exhaling the breath out, coming down to the mat. Step back to our plank, and you can vinyasa here, or if you prefer, just go to downward facing dog. Let's meet there, taking a few breaths. Awesome. All right, lifting up the heels, bending those knees, making your way up to the top of the mat. Let's slowly rise again, bringing the body upright. All right, and then coming to that mountain pose, opening up, really kind of when you roll your shoulders back, you're really finding that opening here of the chest. Awesome. All right, let's do that on the other side. So just taking our left foot, left ankle into our left hand, and maybe the right hand right now is just hanging out on the hip. All right, taking the, again, right arm. So this is where that patient comes into play. It doesn't help when I'm talking and not necessarily breathing as much as I would like to. But yeah, just kind of take your time here and start to shift into your dancer. And if you fall out, you fall out. It's okay. All right, let's go ahead and release the foot back to our crescent lunge just for a moment. And then come into warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And exhale. Let's take it down. Step it back to plank. And then down dog or vinyasa, your choice. All right, now we're going to walk about halfway up to the middle of our mat and come right into a goddess squat from here. And maybe this is where we hang out. If you want to, maybe grabbing a block to sit on if you want to hang here, or we can play in crow for a little moment. Now, honestly, I don't practice this much. It's not really my thing, but if you want to play a little bit, maybe kind of finding your space. Awesome. And from here, just finding your way when you're ready to your back. We're going to go ahead and come into another variation of what we were in earlier. This time we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and recline back. And again, maybe you're placing a hand on the heart, hand on the belly. Becoming aware of the breath again. And just kind of taking a few more moments here. All right, using your hands and gently bring the knees together. And just kind of walk the legs about hip distance apart for a moment. And then we're just going to take the arms above the head, just kind of gently into a diamond shape. All right, so taking the right leg, we're going to cross it over the left. So kind of like sitting like eagle legs is kind of what we're aiming for. Let's go ahead and take the hips just maybe about an inch to the right side and then drop them over to the left. Now they might not come all the way to the ground. If they do, that's okay. That's great. If not, just kind of finding your footing, keeping the shoulders again down towards the ground. And then maybe the gaze comes to the left or just up towards the ceiling. All right, taking maybe another breath or so. Let's go ahead and bring the legs back to center. Uncrossing. And we'll do the same thing. Again, taking now the left leg, crossing it over the right. Shifting the hips over to the left and then dropping the knees to the right. Gaze can come up towards the ceiling or over to the left side. All right, go ahead and bring the body back to center. Crossing the ankle. And we'll start by just bringing the knees into the chest. So holding on to the shins and maybe rocking a little side to side and then opening up the legs. So coming into like almost like this child's pose posture on our back. And you can stay here if you wish. Maybe this feels good. Or if you want to come into the full expression of happy baby again, now that we're warmed up and open, you're going to find a little more space. Or maybe this just feels where it feels right for the body right now. So wherever you want to go, all right, and then whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and walk the toes out towards the very corners of the mat. Finding some stillness and coming into Shavasana. Either eyes can come to a soft gaze or maybe they remain closed here, wherever you are. Just tuning back into that breath. So gently invite some movement back in the body, maybe rocking the head a little from side to side. Gently stretching the fingers and toes and reaching those arms up overhead. And then walking the feet kind of towards the body. And Once again, take your time. Maybe your windshield wiper the legs slightly back and forth. And finding whatever is your favorite side, just kind of finding your way over with the knees. Using your arm as a pillow. And just taking those few breaths here in the fetal position. Pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat. All right. Finding a nice tall spine. Inhaling the arms up. Connecting the palms and then bringing them to your heart. So thank you again for sharing your practice of patience with me today, sharing your energy. So have a wonderful rest of your day and rest of your week. Let's go ahead and bring the thumb knuckles up to the third eye, center of the forehead. The divine light in me honors the divine light in each of you. And together we bow. Namaste. Awesome. So grateful for you guys joining me today, watching this video, subscribing to my channel. So again, yeah, thanks a lot. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.